Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Natalie. I started this channel last year, I think it was like July, August time, and in the midst of the pandemic, thinking it would be a nice idea to share my life with everyone as I got ready to welcome my twin boys into the world. And I've just carried on going with it because I'm finding the journey really fun and exciting, and I know last year how much I searched for information about having twins and what it was like to have twins, and I'm trying to create content that maybe other people are looking for if they're in the similar boat or now have young babies or baby and just want information about certain topics. So thank you for being here. If you're new, please hit the like button and subscribe if you like this video. And if you're old here, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here again watching. I will say I am a very small channel, so if you ever want to watch something or want to see something from me, please let me know in the comments. I see every single one of your comments and it doesn't go unnoticed. So if I get requests for something, I'm going to try my best to make it happen. So this video I actually had a couple of requests for, so here we are. I actually filmed this a couple of weeks ago and then I lost the whole video. Well, I didn't lose it, but basically if I record for longer than like 25 minutes in one go, it won't transfer from my camera to my computer, so it's very strange, but I must remember today to turn this off. So here we go. I'm doing a 6 to 9 month, what should we say, toy review really. I would say must have and essentials, but these items aren't really essential, and I feel like with babies they're all very different and unique, and what toy my boys might like, your boy or girl might not like at all at that age. So it's very much a guessing game, I guess, and I think the more things you have, obviously the better. I am struggling a bit now to keep my boys entertained, and a lot of the activities that they suggest on other videos that I've watched and things, I'm not finding very easy with the two of them because they both just want my attention all the time. Even if I sit on the floor with them, they're both trying to climb onto me, so it's very hard. I kind of have to leave them up to their own devices or put a couple of things down and let them just create mayhem with them. So anyway, let's get started. 6 to 9 months. So at 6 months, my boys were not crawling. I really cannot remember now, but I guess they were just on their backs or on their tummies all the time. I know they were very frustrated at this age that they couldn't crawl. Why is this going out of focus? I do apologise if it keeps going out of focus. Let me just move it a bit nearer. Maybe I'm too far away. So we had this playmat here that we would use all the time for the boys before they were crawling, and I look back now and think, oh, how lovely. They weren't on the move, but I know at that point I was getting very frustrated because they were frustrated and I couldn't wait for them to be able to crawl. So at 6 months they were purely on here or in the bouncer chairs. They loved being on carpet rather than hard floor. They would roll around and mess about. In terms of toys, they didn't really play with an awful lot. I would give them things, some things that they absolutely loved. I would say this was the top toy. These books are from, I'm not sure where they're from, but they are called this one is called Jungly Tales, and there's another one which I think is something animals, farm animals. It's made out of crinkle paper. The tales are all different materials, and this would keep the boys so entertained. If they were in their car seats and fussing, we'd give them this, and yes, they'd flick it around and eventually drop it, but it gives you a lot of peace when you're in a situation where you need a bit of silence. And we give them these a lot at home to play with. This, again, crinkly paper, this came off the Lovevery playmat, and we took it off because they just loved playing with this and chewing on it, and it would save us time when they were fussing. And then just a lot of rattles. They would love rattles and chewy things at that age. This is a rattle that's actually chewy as well, so 2 in 1. Just little bits and pieces that made a noise and items that they could chew on. Another crinkly paper sunflowery thing, they loved that. So that was really it at 6 months. I don't really remember engaging with them with lots of toys. Again, maybe it's a bit different if you have one baby and you can give them that extra bit of attention. Maybe it's a little bit easier. I wouldn't know. Another thing we'd play with on the playmat was there's at the top there's areas that you can attach things, so we would sometimes put mirrors in for them to look at themselves, and then we had some black and white cards with different animals and different patterns on, and they would play with those quite a lot. One thing I would say about this stuff is they do get ruined very easily. Our other cards that they had, they would just chew and play with and like try and bend and stuff, and they got totally destroyed. These are a fresh set that I had with me when we moved, so they haven't really played with these much, but just before you invest in those, that's something to take note of. Okay, so then we get to 7 months. 7 months is where everything changed. The boys started crawling. So if you've been following my channel, you will know at 7 months exactly, we started making our journey down from Washington to California. So we were in the car that week, and actually it worked quite nicely now I look back, because all the moments that we were outside of the car, they got to kind of roam around. Even though we were in different accommodation and things, it wasn't perfect, but they weren't quick yet. They were just kind of understanding how to shuffle a little bit, so that kept them occupied. We didn't have a great deal of toys coming down with us. Actually, this is one thing I'm going to mention. This is sort of a minimalist video of things that you may need for 6 to 9 months. We didn't go crazy. We were in the midst of moving, so there was only so much we could carry with us. Sorry, and then we were in rented accommodation, so again, I didn't want to buy a load of things, especially large bulky things that I then had to move again. So it's a minimal toy essentials video. Anyway, I digress. Where was I? 7 months, just started crawling. We signed up for Lovevery. I know you guys have probably heard of this, and this is in no way a paid sponsored video at all. As you know, I'm very small. I don't have any sort of paid sponsorship or anything like that. This is purely my experience and things that I have loved. So at 5 to 6 months, we did sign up for the Lovevery subscription. And basically what it is, if you don't know, they send you a box of toys and goodies for your little one. And it's all based on Montessori inspired, I think, toys and things for their development at that particular age. And I can't tell you how good it's been. It's been absolutely amazing. Yes, it's slightly pricey, but especially for me, I'm getting 2 babies in one, so the one box comes and they share it, so it's definitely been worthwhile. The boxes last 2 months, and then you get the next one if you subscribe, or I think you can just buy them individually. So the first one came 5 to 6 months. I should have mentioned this before I got 7 months, sorry. So I think this was probably the least used box. They were still on their tummies, and there's certain items that they didn't actually use at the time. So there was this. I think they probably started using this around 6 to 7 months, maybe more 7. I remember it was something that they couldn't really grasp that early on when it came. That's one good thing about the boxes. They give you a timeline of toys and how you should introduce them, and the things later on the timeline kind of overlap, and you may or may not find that your baby likes using them a bit later on in their development. So you have things like a tissue box where they pull and then another tissue comes out and another tissue comes out. I've just not done it correctly. This wobble ball, which they actually still absolutely love now, and they're still loving this, and we're 9.5 months in. So the toys in these boxes are absolutely indispensable. I think you can use them for years, if I'm honest. You know, you can put them away for a couple of months and bring them back out, and it's like a new toy for your children. So yeah. Oh, here's one thing that they loved. Now this they loved early on. You will have seen in some of my other videos me playing with these, but they're little socks with bells on the end. I did have a lot of people ask me if you could DIY make these, which I'm sure you probably could, but I am nervous to do anything like that because I feel like they love putting this in their mouth. They bring their foot up to their mouth and they chew on that, and I just think if I DIY'd it, I'd be so worried that that was going to come off and they'd swallow it or something. But they had hours of fun with these little socks. What else was in this box? There was a book and there was a ball, which I seem to have misplaced. But yeah, this box was good. I can't tell you that they were really using all these toys at this age, but it's become more and more interesting for them as they developed from 6+ months. Okay, so throughout all these months, you're gonna have a teething baby, and that's one thing that we're still in the midst of massively. I think my boys only have 2 teeth each, so they've got a long way to go. So some of the things we've loved for teething are any of these pacifier clips that they can chew on. This one has an Oreo on the end, specifically for teething babies to chew on. They love this. A lot of you may know the banana, absolutely love the banana. It's like got a little toothbrush on the end. I think it's to help them sort of understand beginning to brush your teeth, which we need to start doing. We haven't done it yet. We need to get the boys to do it. And of course, let's not forget Sophia. They've loved Sophia, they still love her now. We do this thing where we make her squeak and they find it hilarious. So she is a must-have for your baby. That's one thing that I will say, go out and buy. And then I don't know the name of these, but a lot of you know about them, but they're basically like pacifiers. Excuse the mess, they've literally just eaten these before they went down. Ew. Actually, Henry ended up having both. Jack wasn't interested, but it's basically like a pacifier, but with little holes in, and you can put something in and freeze it. And when they're teething badly or when they're just fussy in general, this is such a good distraction. So we used to put frozen pureed fruit in there, and now I tend to just bung in some yogurt and freeze it, and they absolutely love it, and it actually lasts quite a while. So yeah, definitely recommendation. Always using these still now, and probably still for months. Pardon me, sorry, the dog just sneezed. Everything's happening here. Sorry, I just realised I hadn't turned the monitor on and the boys are napping. What's happening? Are you okay? So many sneezes. Okay, they're fast asleep. Hooray. Okay, so where were we? Teething toys, we've covered that. So from 7+ months, I haven't bought any other toys other than the subscription boxes. We've been gifted a few things here and there, but I honestly find that it's been plenty for now. They haven't needed much else. I do feel a bit like the days are a bit the same for them, and I feel bad about that, but we'll go on to some of the other things that I do with them. But in terms of toys, this is pretty much all we've had. So the next box, this box was, I mean, this box was amazing. They literally played with all these toys for 2 months, non-stop, and the winner has to be these colourful plastic cups that slot into each other. They, even now, if I put some toys out and this is on the floor, they go to this straight away. They absolutely love it. You can build a tower with it if you turn the cups the other way. You can stack them all on top of each other like this. Loads of things you can do, and they've even got holes in the bottom, so if you get water in a bowl, you can mess around with them in that. I've tried to do that with the boys, but I don't really have a suitable bowl that they don't either try and climb in and get the water everywhere or can't reach into. So we're struggling a little bit with water fun, but we'll get there. But these are a must-have. Any of these toys, if you can recreate them or if you can just look for them in other stores, I definitely advise. You could even use Tupperware. That's one thing I was going to say. We play with Tupperware a lot, but it is kind of on the bigger side. So these are great. Another favourite of theirs in this box was this little basket full of balls. Some are felt balls and some are made of wood, I guess. And hours and hours of entertainment just knocking the ball along, and then they try and crawl and chase it and they bang them together. I will try and edit in some clips of the boys playing alongside this video with certain toys because they've just absolutely loved it. Another one that came in here was a little drinking cup. They've loved that. They've loved all of these, I'll tell you, but the balls and the cups, definitely their favourites. And then you have the classic, this toy has a name and I'm not sure what the name is, but it's a wooden box with a tray underneath it, and when you put a ball on the top, it comes out the bottom. They haven't grasped doing that yet. I know some babies do it a lot earlier. My boys are still trying to understand the concept of putting it in the hole, but they love, if I do that, they love it. They come running over and play with that, and it gives them quite a lot of entertainment. Another thing inside this box, which they haven't really played with much, is this little puzzle piece, and it does say on the instructions you can put a picture of them or you or something in there to make it more interesting for them, but I don't know, maybe I should try that because they haven't made much use of that. But I've also seen those toys where you get like the alphabet rubber things to put in the spaces, which I think are a great developmental toy, but I just haven't yet got that for boys. And lastly, These cards again, they have used these to death. They are very mucky. I need to give them a clean, but these have been fantastic. They're all different items, and on them they have like a part that feels a certain way. So two of their favorites are the dog, which has a furry bit on his back, and oh no, it's not in here because they love it so much. Oh no, here it is, the cat. And it's got little furry bits here, and I make a sound every time I show them this. They love it. So these toys have been great. I mean, they have been playing with them. I brought this one box of things down with me in the car from Washington, and that's all they've been playing with for the last 2 months, and they've had hours and hours of fun with it. So, you know, if you're wondering whether to join this subscription, I definitely recommend it, or just buy one of the boxes and see how you get along with it. But I highly recommend. The toys are really good quality, and there's 5 or 6 things. Babies absolutely love them, so definitely recommend. So yeah, going on to things away from toys, one of the essential things that we bought was this foam mat I'm sitting on, if you can see. Now, I cannot remember where this was from, and I'd actually bought it. I want to say it was like a company called Cuddle and Kind, I think. I'll try and link it below in the description box because I really can't remember, but it's really big. I think we bought 3 pieces, and you slot them all together, and it literally fills the width of this room, which is quite substantially big. They don't always play on here, but I just feel when they were just learning to crawl, I put it underneath the Playpen, which is another thing that was essential for us having twins. And it just saved them crying as badly when they bumped their head. They still cry, but it didn't hurt as much, takes that shock out of it. And one of the benefits with this mat was the edges. This has given them hours of entertainment. Like, every time I've spoken to my mum on the phone, they've been playing with these, throwing them around. She's like, what are they playing with? She cracks up, but they absolutely love them, and they can slot in together, and then you can pull them apart. And sometimes I do this with them, and they love that. They're absolutely amazed by these things. Still play with them today. It's been months and months of playing with those. So that's another benefit of the foam mat. I think they all have them, because I also bought a very cheap one from Walmart, I think it was, and they also had edges, not quite as long as these, but again, they loved those and played with those. So yes, I would definitely highly recommend getting a foam mat as the base of their area where they play, just to avoid so many bumps and bruises. Going on to the next large item, and that is a playpen. This is a very large playpen with sides that open. We got this because I knew there was going to be 2 babies inside, and I just thought it was a good area for them to crawl around in. One thing I would say, it gets very mucky and it's hard to clean, and the boys figured out that the door opens and they just wanted to come straight out of it. But it's definitely done its job, and it's really handy if I really need to do something and I can't monitor them for a while. I'll put them in there with a few toys, and I know that they're safe. Even if they cry and hate it, now they just want to get out as soon as they go in there. But I'm using it as a barricade to the door, because we have a few steps going up into the next room, and they know how to climb up them, but I feel that they could easily fall down, and they definitely don't know how to get down. So I put that up because otherwise that's all they want to do is climb the stairs right now. So the playpen is the barrier for now, but yeah, it's been great. I've also taken that outside a lot if I wanted some fresh air or a change of scenery, and we've all sat in there and played, and that's been a nice sort of change, because with 2 you just can't easily go outside and sit on a mat, because they both just crawl in different directions, and yeah, you've only got one set of hands and feet, so not a good idea. You need to be in a confined space at least, so you know that they're okay. Next thing is household items. There's so many things you can play with around the house. Tupperware being a big one. I sometimes get these out and just put them in the middle of the floor, and it keeps them entertained for, well, Jack maybe half an hour, Henry about 2 minutes, and he's on to the next thing. But we try everything, and if it only lasts a couple of minutes, better than nothing. You can use any of the kitchen utensils. Just make sure these things are safe, obviously. Still at this age, my boys are putting everything in their mouth every second they have a chance, so just watch out for that. Anything small or anything that's not good for their toilet roll insert things, you know, the cardboard rounds, they love those. Had a good laugh with those. And that's probably it around the house. I haven't gone crazy with that because again, we weren't in our own home, so I didn't really fancy giving them things that weren't mine. Okay, next thing, which was an essential for us when the boys started to crawl, I needed to get a moment without them being on the floor, so we bought 2 walkers. You would have seen these in some of my other videos, but they are the Jovi or the Juvie walker and this Jeep walker. I'll put some clips up now of them playing in them so you can see what they look like. So the Jeep walker is what it is. It's a Jeep, it's a bit of fun, and it's got the kind of noises and the toy bits at the front, but honestly it's not designed as well as the Jovi walker for the proportion of the body of a baby. My boys, both their arms are very high up, they don't seem to walk in it as well, and they haven't liked being in it as much as the Jovi. The Jovi's got 3 settings. You can alter the height as your baby grows, and they just look overall really comfy in there, and they've seemed to be able to walk much more comfortably in that one. So yes, it's slightly on the pricey side. I think we paid $100 for that, but it's been great. They've absolutely loved it, and I have given them snacks and toys on the table, and they've been fine with that and really enjoyed that. So that got me through the last 2 months. It really helped, especially after giving them milk. I tend to put them in there, otherwise they'd just go off and crawl and spit up and be sick. So it was kind of that in-between break of feeding and going back on the floor to play. And I think that's about it, guys. That is all that we have bought in the last 2 months. Not a lot, but it's been perfectly enough. I am now finding that I need a few more things. They're trying to walk and they're trying to climb, so I've got a few things coming this week, but we are past that 6 to 9 month age, so that's all I'm going to cover today. I don't know what I'm going to call this video yet, but if I have put essentials or must-haves, please take that with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying you need these items, but they've helped me, and I know they're a common item that people get at this sort of age in baby's development. So go with what you think works and what will be best in your household environment, and yeah, you can always sell these things. I think we plan on selling a lot of stuff through Facebook Marketplace, or if you're in LA, just let me know in the comments if you want anything, because eventually we definitely cannot store all this stuff, so it's going to have to go. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, because I feel like I haven't done one for so long. I've just been talking about moving and getting a house and all that sort of things. But let me know if you like the day in the life videos or these sit down videos, or what you want to see, because I really want to get back into 2 uploads a week as we get settled in here. I feel like it's pushing myself, but I really want to. Sometimes I feel a bit demotivated and think that no one's getting any use out of these, but then someone will comment and say how much it's helped them, and that means the world to me, because that's all I want, is to help other people that have twins or have children and are struggling in certain aspects. I did just think when I was making lunch, I really want to do a video that documents all the hard parts within like a week or a day with the boys. So I'm going to try and do that. I think it'll be really funny, because a lot of the things that I've struggled with, no one's ever talked about or mentioned about, and then when I talk about it to people, they're like, no, my baby never did that, and you're like, oh my god, what is wrong with them? So I'm going to try and do that. I think it'll make for a funny video. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go now and enjoy my tiny bit of peace and quiet before those little rugrats wake up again. So I hope you're having a good week, and I'll see you next time.